This is the Palin Update on Mama Grizzly Radio. I'm Kevin Schola in the 3D Security and Training Academy studios.
I have said all along that America is based on Judeo-Christian beliefs, and nobody has to believe me, though. You can just go to our Founding Fathers' early documents and see how they crafted a Declaration of Independence and a Constitution.
Sarah Palin stands up for our exceptional country as a Christian nation. But some activists are not buying it. Instead, they're targeting Christians, and they're out for money and looking to do damage. Today, we're joined by an amazing couple from Oregon, bakers who refused to make a cake for a lesbian wedding. Since then, they've been put through the ringer for their stance, and now a labor commissioner in Oregon is even calling for them to pay up 6 figures. Through it all, they've not backed down. Instead, they're standing with God. Aaron and Melissa Klein, owners of Sweet Cakes by Melissa, are here to talk about their ordeal and their undaunted faith. Governor Palin wishes a happy birthday to Nancy Reagan. A brand new installment of Liberty and Legacy with Tamara Colbert is on the way from Texas. And just ahead, our latest edition of Steel Resolve with Sarah Steelman in Missouri. Welcome to the Palin Update on Mama Grizzly Radio. The Palin Update is sponsored by 3D Security and Training Academy. Learn more at 3dsta.com. Right now, we say hello to an Oregon couple, parents of 5 children, and owners of a bakery that has come under fire. The owners of Sweet Cakes by Melissa are embroiled in a civil rights case, all because they said no to baking a cake for a same-sex couple's wedding. And right now on the Palin Update, we welcome the owners of Sweet Cakes by Melissa in Oregon. They are Melissa Klein and Aaron Klein. Welcome to the program, guys. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having us.
Well, we appreciate you, and we appreciate what you're doing and standing up for, and really horrible to hear what's going on with your situation. For those who may have not heard about it, Aaron or Melissa, whoever wants to take this one, if you want to just give us a brief rundown of what happened and why you took the stance you did.
Well, I'll tackle that one. What happened? We had a gal come in with her mom asking for a wedding cake, which was not abnormal. We saw that all the time. She came in. I gave her some cake to taste, and in the process, we started filling out the form that we usually use for wedding cakes. When the topic came up with the name of the bride and groom, she informed me that it was going to be 2 brides. At that point, I reluctantly, I looked up from my paper, and I said to her, I'm really sorry. I think I may have wasted your time. We don't do same-sex wedding cakes. Now, that statement I just gave you right there, that's past tense. However, the state of Oregon would say I just broke the law. The thing that's advertising what we will do in the future, just to let you know right there. But kind of thumbing my nose at that because the fact of the matter is the state of Oregon is not in the place to strip me of my First Amendment rights. So we're going to run with it. But anyway, she got up and left with her mom. She came... or I guess her mom came back in. We had a conversation. 2 weeks later, I got a complaint in the mail with the Department of Justice, and the whole thing was set in motion.
Now, we're talking about, what, 2013?
January 2013.
So here we are in the summer of 2015, and this is still being pursued. My first reaction to all of this, no matter where you stand on anything, is if I went in and this happened, wouldn't you just go about your business and go get your cake somewhere else and go from there? From that standpoint, I said, we'll talk about what you guys did. But as far as a customer, it seems like you're taking things to a whole nother level, and for what? To prove what? Is it to get money? Is it to just, say, hey, because you don't agree with what I say you must agree with, I'm going to stick it to those people? It just rubs me the wrong way, especially folks like you trying to raise a family, trying to run a business. That's hard enough as it is. And then to do this, it just seems like a waste of time and effort from these people. And, I think they ran into the wrong couple, though, because I bet you a lot of people would have backed down in one way or another, and you certainly have not.
Well, initially it really seemed like it was a money issue. It was the initial complaint claimed that they bought a cake from us 2 years prior and wanted the money back for that, which they did. They were return customers. There's a lot of falsehoods in the complaint. It went forward as a no start with the Department of Justice. It ended up at Bureau of Labor and Industries jurisdiction, and that's where the trouble really started. When you have a commissioner like Brad Avakian who comes out before he's even got the paperwork in front of him and says, the people involved need to be rehabilitated. You know you're in trouble there.
Yeah, well, when you're in the ACLU's back pocket, I mean, that's never a good sign, right? But let me ask you this. Why did you say no, and why did you continue to say no even when you were threatened legally?
The no comes from my faith. The no comes from the Bible's definition of marriage. We really have to look at this objectively and say, my religion is protected under the Constitution as well as that 2007 statute that I'm in trouble with. And I have the right. I have the right to do what Colossians 3 says, where everything is an act of worship. And 1 Timothy 5:22, don't take part in another man's sins. So I said no. My wife's very artistic. That talent came from God. God blessed us with everything we had in that shop. Everything we did there was to honor God. We had our pastor and some people from our church come out. We blessed the whole place. We asked that God would use it for His purposes. And boy, did he ever. Not in the way we expected, though.
So if a lesbian came in or a gay man came in and wanted to buy a cake that said, happy birthday on it, or said, hey, I want a Batman cake, or I want a SpongeBob cake, or whatever else, you'd make that cake, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And, we did that we had many gay customers that would come in,
Yep.
and, we in fact had one gentleman that came in, and he even ordered a birthday cake for his partner. And, we sit there and we think, a birthday is something that's a celebration. I mean, there's nothing wrong with celebrating in a birthday and being a part of that.
There are some people that will still argue that Christians aren't targeted in this country by politicians and by others and by activists. And I would say you're living proof that that is absolutely not the case. I mean, we don't see this anywhere else. I mean, if somebody demanded that you're telling workers that they can't touch bacon if they're of the Muslim faith in some other companies, you're seeing this from all walks. I mean, atheists are being catered to, but when it no play on words. But when it comes down to Christians, here it is. Everybody the other day, right? Supreme Court, 5 people deciding things for this whole country. Love wins is the thing we've seen on Twitter and everywhere else. Well, you have to put a little asterisk there unless you're a Christian or unless you're a common sense conservative, because Sarah Palin got bashed for saying there's a war on Christmas. Meantime, you can't say it in public schools. And now here the Christian teachings and the beliefs that you have, you're being slammed for it when you're not discriminating against anyone. You are saying that I'm not going to promote something that is against what you believe in.
And then that's really what it comes down to. I'm reminded of a case that came out of the Sixth Circuit Court, I believe it was, where a Muslim truck driver said, I'm not going to haul alcohol in my truck. Got fired for it. Won his case. You can't discriminate against somebody for their religious faith. Give them a different load, Now, I don't know if I'd go the same way with a Christian. It's just odd. Now, something that is really strange about this case is we actually made these gals a wedding cake, not for their wedding, but for one of the girls' mom. It was a heterosexual wedding. I didn't have a problem with letting them pay for it, them ordering the cake. There was no issue there because it was for something that we felt honored God, and that was a heterosexual wedding.
After the Supreme Court decision the other day, it's amazing how so many major companies and high-profile people are almost buying in, or at least by their actions are saying that they buy into whatever is decided by unelected, appointed judges. Then they say that that's right for them as well. I was in a Hallmark store where now there's suddenly a same-sex marriage section, or I should say anniversary section, that wasn't there before this ruling. So that's your rule. We have enough earth worshipers in this country today. They would arrest you if you put a plastic bottle in the wrong garbage can. We also have a lot of people who apparently will do whatever the president or whatever a bunch of judges who have no diversity to them at all say, and then all of a sudden are on board. My question was, where were all these companies, where were all these organizations the day before that? Why didn't they have rainbow symbols on their products before that. You have to wait for judges to tell you what is okay. I like that Aaron is here. Here he is without any notes, quoting Colossians and telling us where he's getting it from. We know where it's coming from with you. These people, you're ruled by non-elected officials or by the almighty Barack Obama. It's scary.
Yeah, the unelected officials saying, if we listen to everything they said, we got an 1857 decision that came out of the Supreme Court that said that, African-American man should never be free because he's not whole human. And we look at that and we go, well, that was a Supreme Court decision. Should we abide by it? Should we adhere to it? Absolutely not. Do you think the Supreme Court, 9 people, could ever be wrong? I think they can.
Yeah, that was 5-4 too, right? Wasn't it?
I believe so. Yeah.
It's really unbelievable. Now, I think the other reason, in a positive way, that your case has made so much headlines and people are still following, obviously, these latest situation, $135,000. I want to talk about that and what they're saying about that and where you stand with that and what you intend to do. But I think that you really have a lot of people not only rooting for you, but just in awe of your courage in this, that you will not back down. And again, you have children. You need your jobs. You need success to provide and to do your thing. But you are not backing down. I think of that girl who died in Columbine, and when they supposedly was asked, do you believe in Jesus Christ as your Savior, and she didn't back down with a gun in her face. And this isn't happening to you with something like that, obviously. And I don't want to belittle what happened there. But I thought of that, and the same thing here. You could easily go, all right, bake the cake, have a happy gay wedding, and see you later, put the money and move on. But you didn't do it. So, and I think a lot of people really, I'm sure you're getting a lot of hate thrown at you, of course, because it's a popular thing to do among the secular, but I think a lot of people are really looking up to you right now.
Yeah, I would definitely say that the encouragement that we've been getting and the just the letters and the emails. Of course, we've been getting the negative, but the support and just the amount of people that are just pouring out generosity and it's so overwhelming for me personally, and I'm sure it is for Aaron as well. Just to see so many people being as supportive as they are, and it makes us sit back and think like, gosh, with probably the percentage of, nice emails compared to bad emails we're getting, I'd say we're getting 90%, great emails and 10%, negative emails. And it's like, wow, if that shows the percentage of what America feels, then, what I don't understand this of why the courts, are just pushing these things through and the people don't get to vote. And it's just, to me, that's ridiculous.